For over 10 years, the Flying Disc Store has stocked Australia's largest range of flying disc products. From disc golf discs and bags to ultimate frisbees, throw and catch discs and dog discs, the Flying Disc Store has everything you need. As part of our support of the Tee-Off, the Flying Disc Store would like to provide Tee-Off listeners with 5% off any purchase in the store. Just use the code TEEOFF5 when checking out to get your discount. Visit www.flyingdiscstore.com.au today to grab a deal, and if you have any questions, be sure to contact their friendly staff. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Berg's Disc Sports. Check out bergsdiscsports.com for the highest quality disc golf bags and gear that have all been fully tested and approved by our disc golf community. The only thing better than Berg's bags is Berg's customer service. And welcome back to the Tee-Off, an Australian podcast about the awesome sport of disc golf. My name is Paddy Robinson, and in the studio with me today is just you, Fergs.
G'day.
Hey, man.
Where's Tim?
Well, I think Tim got absolutely slapped at the Queensland Open, and he's been too scared to come in and talk about it.
Oh, Timothy.
No, Timmy has a bit of a sore throat after the weekend, and sounds like he's smoked 50 packs a day.
Uh-oh.
So
He's got the lurgy. He's got the lurgy.
Doesn't really work on a podcast with audio only, so... Yes, he's here in spirit, and he has chucked in a few notes, so we will make sure we read them out. But Tim will, I'm sure, be back for the next episode.
Yeah, get better, Tim. Get better.
Yeah, good on you, Timmy. Bit of a reduced episode today, guys. Because Tim is not here, we'll whip through a few things of our normal stuff. But, we'll obviously build it back up when all three of us are back in the studio together. But first up, little players meeting. So I want to say thank you to everyone at the Queensland Open over the weekend who came and grabbed some Tee-Off pins from us. Good to see them getting around on bags and hats. So thank you guys. Also, the Patreon is still going there. We're thinking about running a bit of a giveaway on just for our Patreon members. So if you've been thinking about signing up, it's as little as the price of a coffee per month. And that support then goes back to us to keep bringing you guys some fun disc golf Australian content. So please jump on there. All the links and everything are in our Instagram bio through our link tree.
What's news round the world, round Australia? What's news? What's happened and who's spoken?
Thank you, Jason Brown, for that wonderful intro.
That gets stuck in my head
yeah.
The whole drive home. I love it.
I can't wait for the next iteration of some sort of intro from JB. Get working on something, mate. All right, kicking it off, the Disc Golf Pro Tour, the Preserve Championship powered by Prodigy. We had Ricky Wysocki smashing it out there. Set himself up with a 15 under par first round.
Yeah,
and got the win over Cole Riddell, who came in second, and Calvin Harburg.
Yeah, pretty solid from Rick. I think he's obviously had a bit of a shit year with his health and everything, but he has been building, and good to see him really come out. And the Preserve is no joke. That is an insane course to come out, and I think he shot a 1080 average for the whole event. So
that's huge. That's huge. Yes, beautiful course there, designed by, I think in part by Kale LaVisca.
Yes.
His course down there. So
there was a couple of local Geelong boys who got to go and play it and watch it and stuff in the Hart fellas. So, yeah, pretty epic course, that's for sure. No joke.
And Katrina Allen got the win. She's 10:31 round. That's pretty handy. That's
insane.
Again, setting herself up for the win, and she got the win by 3 shots over KT.
Yeah, huge. Definitely the time to build as well, with Worlds sort of looming, and there's a big Euro League sort of happening now as well. So, yeah, pretty exciting.
Absolutely. I don't think KT would have liked that very much. They should be coming out firing for the next one.
I'm sure. Next up, we had the Disc Golf Pro Tour Silver Series, the KC Wide Open, sponsored by DD. Now, do you remember when the KC Wide Open was one of the national tours, Fergie?
I do actually remember that. In fact, when this popped up on the weekend, and we didn't do grippy picks for it, but I thought, hang on a second, didn't that used to be a pretty big event?
Yeah, it's huge. Now it's just a lowly old Silver Series. But nonetheless, there was still a few big names sort of head out there and play, and a big name to sort of take it down, Gannon Burr. With a very solid performance. I did see a couple of shanks in the trees, though, which always makes me feel a little bit better about my game. But yes, definitely a big win by Gannon there. And then in the FPO for a first win of the year was Ali Smith. So congratulations to Ali there. She came in victorious over Holland Hanley, actually, who was in second there. Next up, the Elite Series is the PCS Open in Norway. Stop number 6 on the European Tour. Pretty cool one. I'm pretty sure this is the one Barsby took down last year and won that massive axe.
I do believe it was.
Yeah.
The event's got a really cool logo, actually. Jump on the website and have a squiz.
Yeah, epic finishing hole too, with a basket sitting in the tractor.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes. Super cool. Barsby, I'm not sure if he was on the list, but it's a healthy looking list going into this.
It sure is. Yeah, there's already a few people over there hanging out in Europe, including Mr. Paul Macbeth. But
yes.
He's going to be joined by a good stellar list of disc golfers coming over to try and get the win.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts there, Fergie? We've got a bit of a list there. We're going to take a stab at picks. Who's going to take it down?
Look, I think Ricky will go again.
Yep.
So
get some Raptor legs out.
Yeah, get Raptor legs.
Everyone's saying Paul Macbeth hasn't been playing that well, but I think having this contingent come over, I think he's going to come out and get it. Now, Tim obviously isn't in the studio, but he did send in his tip for this event, and he said Tristan Tanner.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, somewhere outside, around the top 30 range there. Yeah, Tristan Tanner.
Beautiful.
We'll see how that goes for you, Timmy.
All right, and a little closer to home, we will head to the Central West Cold Snap in Molong. And a huge shout-out and congratulations to Dan Frost, who won MPO by a very handy 4 strokes and averaged 999.
Yes.
Huge.
Dan left Ed at home that time, and he smashed it. Very, very commanding win. Well done, Dan.
And also maybe a shout out there to Matt Wallace, who had a 970 rated first round and won MP40.
Yeah, solid, Matt. Congrats.
Also, Alex Williams, FA1 winner, with 2 rounds rated exactly 905. Very handy to be shooting the 900s there, so nice job, Alex.
Yeah, solid in that FA1. Congrats.
And some notables here to mention, we had 18 female players, which is definitely a great trend there for Molong.
Yeah, they love getting the ladies out there.
18 female players.
Yeah.
That's a stellar effort, guys, there. So whatever they're doing to get the females along to those events is definitely working.
It's working. Share your knowledge.
The tournament was opened by a platypus teeing off.
Yeah.
I didn't misspeak then.
Yep.
There was a platypus. I didn't see this. Were they dressed up?
Yeah, someone was dressed as a platypus, and they had the opening drive. I really liked it when they follow through and their head turned about 90 degrees.
And got smacked by their own bill.
Yep.
And what did he say? I think to celebrate platypuses returning to the area. Okay, so Tim's just mentioning there that there are some platypuses returning to the area. That's a good thing, isn't it?
Yes, agree. I had absolutely no context to the platypus video that I did see driving, but
good on him making mention of that, because the old platypus, they're very seldom seen in the wild.
Have you ever seen one in the wild?
I actually have. Yeah,
yes.
There's a nice walk down the Otways, and there's a viewing area you can go to kind of see platypus.
Yeah.
You don't often see them very much, but I happened to be down there a few weeks ago and saw a number of swimming around, which was pretty cool. So, yeah.
Is there a disc named after the platypus?
There should be.
There definitely should be.
I think Fourth Circle. Reese, are you listening?
Yep.
I think he should maybe get onto the platypus.
Yep. All right. Look, Reese, if you want to sponsor me some big bickies, somewhere around the 6 figures, I'd be happy to have the patty puss.
Oh.
That'd be all right.
The platypus. That's it's a stable, fast mid-range driver.
Love it. The platypus. Rely on it. Yes, and the typical mow long weather: cold, muddy, wet.
Perfect conditions for platypus.
Yeah. I did enjoy the little update. Now, true to form, Tim did travel up and play it, and he was sending us little updates in his little tent. And
yeah, wasn't he a swag or something?
Little
one-manner.
It looked real cold and made me real happy when I was at home. So, well done. Next up, the big event, the Queensland Open in Pine Rivers this past weekend that was presented by Disconnection. Absolutely awesome to see. We had stunning weather. 22 degrees. The first day was a bit windy, but then it just turned it on. Lower winds the next few days, and we actually got some sun. I got a little bit sunburnt, which is hard for me being a pasty ginger. But it was an absolutely fantastically run event, and we'll go through a couple of things after we shout out some winners. So Jade Brady cleaned up with a 2-shot win over myself and Aaron Morton, both coming in tie for second.
$777 USD.
Yeah.
That's about $7,000 Australian at the moment. That's fantastic. What a win.
Not too shabby at all. I ended up getting $500 for tying for second as well. So happy about that. Yes. Shout out to those payouts. They were awesome. The final round sort of came with a bit of drama as well. That lead card that I was sitting on there, we all played like poo for quite a while, at least 13 holes. That chase card was running hot, and I think Dan Frost was even in the lead for a period there. But Jade managed to come home. I think he birdied something like, it was at least 4 or 5 out of the last sort of 6 holes. So he came in very strong there to hold for that win. I think he was back-to-back winner. Okay. Top female was Sarah Lee. Now, she actually jumped over in the MPO because she was the only FPO player, but she had a 904 average and was definitely the best placed female player there. Ryan Johnson, Aces Ryan Johnson, ended up getting a win in the MP40 with a 1,002 rated final round.
Very handy.
Yes. Now, we'll do a quick shout-out of all the other divisional winners. So, in MA1 was... I'm going to butcher this. Severi Mustafa. Notable, he sliced his finger. He sliced his finger open, hitting a T sign on his follow-through, but played through it the last 6 holes to still get the win.
Goodness me.
Crazy.
Severi.
Severi.
Yeah, Seved. Yeah,
it was a bit severe.
There's something there.
FA1, Victorian Emma Winkworth got the win there. Congrats, Emma. Very nice. MA40 was Paul Lavender. FA40, Sue Donnelly. MA50, Ash Carter. MA2, Phil Morgan. He'll be happy with that win there, Phil. Congratulations. FA2 was Michaela Warren. MA3, Mitch Graham. MA4, Sam Wicker. FA4, Sarah Whithouse, and MJ15, Archer Shaw. So congratulations to everyone there. Absolutely epic event, and I'm sure they enjoyed their little trophies there. Shout out to the MPO trophy. Did you happen to see this one at all, Fergie?
I didn't actually catch it, no.
So
describe it to me.
So the logo of the Queensland Open is the pineapple cut in half, and it's kind of sitting above, and the basket, chains, and everything is in the middle of it. Someone has got out some 3D printing skills, and they created that with the tiny DD mini baskets, like the ones that are only about 15 centimeters high.
Oh, yeah, micro baskets?
Yeah, the micro baskets. Yep. They created like 3D printed half the pineapple in halves and put them on. So it was like an actual live version of the logo.
I love it. That's great.
Yes.
Very creative.
I love it. Like an actual good trophy kind of puts that extra pressure on trying to get that W too. So, Jade was very stoked to take that home. Other notables for the event. Cam Ford ended up winning the best shot of the tournament. So hole 1 was an absolutely epic starter hole. You sort of raised up, elevated above. There's this big amphitheater and everything. If you know the Pine Rivers course, guys, there's got this huge amphitheater. So you're up on raise. You're doing this big downhill sort of super wide fairway. Get these big air shots out, and then on the far right you've got the amphitheater, and then behind the amphitheater you've got water.
So for far right is the
far right,
very far,
very far right,
okay,
like Shanksville.
Yep.
Let's say. Cam Ford in the final round. I'll do you one, Cam. There was absolutely no wind, but there was a lot of wind on the first round, so maybe that got in his head. But he has gone the full-on WTF Richard and sent it way right. Apparently, I'm talking. He hits the amphitheater. The area that he hits the amphitheater is literally half a meter wide, I reckon. He's like hit the roof of the amphitheater. It's then ricocheted off the amphitheater and sent him centre fairway. If he had missed the amphitheater, he's so wet, you wouldn't believe it.
It actually sounds like a pretty big throw.
Oh, it would have been massive. It would have been an absolutely massive throw to get there. But
did he win something for this?
Well, he left early, so they didn't give it to him. But he won the greatest shot. I think he then ended up taking a double bogey on that hole anyway. But yes, so Cam Ford, shout out there, mate. Well done. 163 players overall, absolutely huge field. And it felt like that too, actually, when we were getting around. Everyone was sort of hanging around. There were really good vibes throughout. Definitely felt like the biggest event so far. And the last thing I want to talk about is the course.
Tell us about the course.
I've said it a couple of times, but we know that Rad has done the redesign of the existing Pine Rivers layout. Yep. Chris Barringer worked very, very hard for few months at least, like physically on the ground doing it.
Actually doing the installation.
Not
just
designing,
but
all the stuff.
Project managing,
Yep. I know that he came under, he had a fair bit of stress going on, with the whole install and everything.
Yep. I mean, look, the weather against you and individuals that you're working with and all of those fun things that you get working on site.
Yes. But I have to say that course has gone straight into my top 5 in Australia. It played very tough. As people have sort of jumped on, had a little look at the scores. The weather is a huge impact on that course. So the first round we had wind, and it was playing pretty hard. Even though there's parts of it that are open, and there's other parts that are wooded. Some of those wooded holes are very tough lines, but just very meticulous thought has gone into shaping the shots that you really need to throw with tree placements. And nothing is a gimme. And when the wind gets up, it's about a 4 or 5 stroke wind, I reckon.
So apart from the first hole, which was this amphitheater Cam Ford hole, which played as hole 1, apart from that, the rest of the tournament,
I think everything was existing permanent course.
And when you say permanent, that's the blue course, if you like. The more advanced course.
I do believe there was a couple. So one that I thought was one of the holes that was blue course, or I thought was part of the existing, is apparently a safari hole.
Okay.
So
a couple of changes then.
Yeah.
But 16 or so of the holes have remained the same.
Yeah. Yep. But no, it was just awesome. Absolutely awesome. And just a huge shout out to Rad and all the local Pine River guys. They really did put on a really professional event. All the baskets look great, the flags in, they had their I think it was Rad or Flying Disc or core flute underneath.
Holes, yep.
I mean, if anyone who was driving along the highway that runs along Pine Rivers during that whole weekend, they would have looked down and seen this basket just sticking out, looking amazing, and seen all these people playing disc golf. And Yeah, it was just super, super cool. Really looking forward to like all the parked media, the Justice Gatekeeper footage to come out as well. Justice had a second cameraman, so he's already messaged saying, "Oh man, I'm so excited for you guys to see the footage. It's really jumped up in quality and everything." So yeah, really, really pumped. But yeah, the course honestly it had woods, it had open shots, it had distance, it had tough par fours, it had really, really tight, short wooded holes, no gimmies. It was just really, really, really well done.
That's really good to hear, because I know, Chris Barringer is going to be very stoked to hear that kind of feedback, and the fact that the course is permanent there, and it's something that can be used for these tournaments without much kind of adjusting and what have you is really, really good. So,
100%.
And a huge shout out to the local community there who kind of jumped on board and got behind the design. I know Simon Tanner was providing some input, and a few other people as well. So that's a huge effort, and definitely one that we like to tick off with. It was had some difficulties working with the some contractors and things like that, but I think it's obviously come through good.
Oh man, it's unreal. It's unreal. And I think some of the UDIS stats definitely reflect that. I did see in the emails the Queensland Open boys have sent out an email asking for feedback. So anyone who played it, please jump on and send some very positive feedback, because I'm sure that will get back to local council as well. So
big shout out to Nathan Thomas, it sounds like, as well, who was tournament director and seems to have steered the ship very well.
Honestly, man, everything, one of the most professional events I've played in Australia. Everything ran very smoothly. Real credit to the boys. All right, next up, I think we got the Ian Smith Memorial.
Ian Smith Memorial down in Poimina in Tasmania. In MPO, we had Ollie Mundycastle. He gets another victory over Atticus. And Hamish Dwyer won MA1. And he actually tied Ollie's score in MPO. So Hamish,
very solid.
Playing some pretty good disc golf.
On you, mate. Bit of Bainey watch. Bainey's over obviously in Europe playing. He played the Swedish Open and came 21st. 17 shots behind Macbeth there. But he ended up cashing about close to 700 US. Very nice. And then in the Skellefteå Open in Sweden, he came 40th. 26 shots behind Macbeth. I like that Tim's making that note how far behind Macbeth he is.
Yeah. Just makes it relative, doesn't it? He's like your benchmark, isn't he?
But Lay made last cash by one shot.
There you go.
So well done, Bainey. I think he's lined up for the PCS Open as well.
And a little bit of other news. We did see an announcement there that the purse for the Pro Worlds is $275K.
Yes, minimum 275K.
That's decent.
Put in.
That's decent. What, is it LL Wood or LL? Who's the company behind it?
I'm not sure.
I did look them up. I do believe that they are like a retail outlet.
Right.
They are the retailer essentially. So
cool.
Clothes and what have you. So it's good to see that they've kind of got on board and thrown a bit of cash behind it.
Mate, that's some cash. That is some serious cash. Very exciting for the World's Crew. All right, Fergie, last little bit of Aussie news as well is that the Oz Champs registrations have opened.
Yep.
Yeah. So they opened it up first to the all the female divisions and the juniors. And I think there was, a good 20 or 30 people jump onto that. And then now that we're going through, based on ratings as well. So the first tier was 9, 15 and above. Got to, jump on it.
I did actually. I got a message from Assistant Tournament Director Paul Arden, who said, "Good to see that you used all of those 3 rating points to register." I've slid down to a 9/18 rating, which is now slid a little bit further by the time this goes to air. Anyway, and yes, I may have just snuck in that bracket.
Nice. So. Dig it.
It's nice to actually register for an event.
What div did you register for?
Oh, it might have been MP40.
Ooh! I dig it, mate. I dig it. Jumped on there as well. I was going to look through the ratings and see if there were any Open players who were rated 914 and just, get them on the tee off and, see what their thoughts on the registration cap was. But no, I'm sure they're on there now.
So what have we got? We've got, at the moment, 27 MPO registered.
Yes.
Okay.
I have seen a couple of internationals on there as well, in Jackson Sullivan and Simon Feasey as well, staple New Zealand players of the Australian champs. So that would be pretty cool to see those boys over there. But yes, so if you are you better be keeping a close eye on the Aussie champs because they will be rolling out further on more registrations. So jump on, get registered, and secure your spot to the Aussie champs coming up in November. Now, next up, we've got Aussie event, the Winter Ambush in New South Wales, who we are going to get Jeff Wall on the phone and hear a little bit more about it all.
We just called to have a chin wag. We just called to have a chat with friends. We just called to talk some disco and to catch up on the latest disco trends.
And on the phone, Jeff Wall, coming all the way from Sydney. Jeff, welcome, mate.
Thank you, Paddy. G'day, guys.
Hey, mate.
Now, Tim isn't in the studio at the moment, mate. He's got a bit of a sore throat. So with all the winter and COVID, we told him to stay away. But
he's just been talking too much.
Cool.
Yeah. No.
I would have said that probably sounds more like it, but hey, that's good.
Tim talking much? No, that doesn't sound like Tim at all. No, but Jeff, we've got you on the tee off, mate, because you are running the upcoming Winter Ambush in Sydney, and we want to hear a bit more about the event.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate the opportunity to talk about it. I think, look, one of the things we wanted to do, well, I wanted to do in particular, was because, as you know, Sydney's been a bit behind getting courses up and going, and we've been playing the same course for a very long time. So one of the things was to go out to a new course. And so where we are playing in Appin is a scout camp, very bushy place, and it was just new, and we thought it'd be a great place to do a pop-up. And the other thing I was really keen to do with this tournament was to make sure we got a good pro representation. And so, I went out obviously to boost the pool, and I've invited a number of you MPO guys directly. And part of that is trying to grow the Sydney game. I think Sydney's been a bit behind as we see the growth in other states sort of flourish, and we're sort of sitting still. And so one of the things was to try and do that through this tournament.
Yeah, sounds awesome, man. So I didn't realise it was a scout camp. I have seen some photos of the course, and it doesn't look too shabby. It looks like there's some pretty decent hole lengths, and it looks like a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Jeff, what's the average score that people are going around in at the moment?
There's no one. It's not being played, so this will be the first time it's been played, because it's we've approached these guys for the last year or so trying to get a course in there, or at least a pop up, and we had the Sydney club. We wanted to put it through for the New South Wales Open, but we sort of didn't get there, and so I wanted to set it up for this one just to see how it played. So no one's played it yet, Fergie. It is going to be a virgin course, so to speak.
My favourite kind. My favourite kind.
I think the landscape really lends itself to it. They've given us, so the way it works, they've got 3 camping grounds, or they've got multiple camping grounds. We've taken over 3 of them for this tournament, and so we sort of play our way around that. But I think it'll play really well. Like it's good landscape for it.
Yeah, cool. Sounds awesome. It's pretty cool that it's a scout camp as well. So will people be staying on site?
Yeah, so we've got camping, and there's accommodation, there's cabins and everything as well. So we've got access to all of that, and we've got a kitchen. So we're going to provide some lunch for everybody. We sort of want to make this a really good event. It's a little bit out of and they just come to me to book that, and I'll sort that out for them. And we'll give them lunch, and then those staying over, I'm going to cook breakfast for them on the Sunday morning before we get going.
Oh, unreal. So, for someone who might still be talking to their wives about potentially jumping away for another weekend and having a look at some flights last night just before he went to bed and got to work this morning, what you're telling me, Jeff, is that it's still not too late to jump on and get your ass to Sydney.
Paddy, I'm expecting you. And look, because we've got the staggered start, you pros will start a little bit later in the day. Like, we're running this as if it's not just a C tier. You know, I want to run it as if we're going for a major. So it should work well, and there's plenty of room left.
Well, Paddy, I was going to say, like, you know, I'll have to run it by Mr. Commissaire Tim, but can the Tee Off not sponsor you? Can we get you there? You know, possibly.
Well, seeing as I am the Tee Off, yeah, probably.
That sounds pretty cool.
No, look, I did shout out to the Queensland Open again. They had a good little cash pool for the MPO, so I have got a little bit sitting there, and I did talk to the wife, so I might be jumping on a plane next Friday, Jeff.
Yeah,
so, yes.
Excellent.
We'll talk.
Great.
We'll talk more. But no, it looks like it's going to be a very fun event. And you are right. Like, Sydney in the past hasn't had a whole heap. Like, just little, you know, maybe New South Wales in general have had some cool courses. That's for sure. In Newcastle and you know, down in Molong and those little ones popping up. But
absolutely, we've been a bit slower to get going. I think as you may or may not know, Reece and I did the North Ryde course, so we put that in, which was the first new course I think in a very long time. And so it's been slow to get going for whatever reason, but the numbers are growing in terms of people wanting to play. It's just, you know, us getting the stuff in the ground and getting things moving. And I think more of these pop-ups is at least a way of getting away from Newington and playing something different. So
I'm looking at the Rego list. I'm looking at the Rego list, Jeff, and I think you're right. I mean, there's definitely a lot of names on there that you just don't often see kind of playing around Australia. There's a lot of locals, so there's definitely demand, obviously, there for disc golf and the need for that permanent course. And I think, you know, it's just it goes without saying. I mean, Sydney, it just needs one or two good ones in the ground and well promoted, and it'll pop, mate. It'll just absolutely go nuts when it goes.
Yeah, I think we'll hit that tipping point, won't we, where things go, you know, shoot off. So the numbers of people playing has definitely increased. And so now it's just around giving them some variety.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome, Jeff. No, looking forward to the event, mate. Now, just a little bit about yourself as well. How long have you been sort of playing disc golf? And...
I've only been playing for about 2.5 to 3 years, so not long.
Okay, so you're one of the COVID boys?
I am, and I'm older, as you probably know, and so it takes longer to learn.
Not at all.
But look, I really enjoy it. I think I enjoy being involved. Obviously, I'm not the best player in the world, but that's okay. I enjoy playing. But
that's all right. Neither's Fergs, so he makes do.
Well, that's good. That's good. Well, we do what we can, you know, with the limitations that we have. But I just want to get involved in sort of growing it and doing those sorts of things. You know, we've got a business that I'm trying to sort of wind myself out of, and that means I'm going to have more time, and I'm keen to sort of start to look at ways to grow the sport, not just in New South Wales, but everywhere in Australia, and see what we do. You know, what we can do some private tournaments and things like that into next year. Stuff I'm looking at.
Yeah,
sounds
awesome, man. Sounds very cool.
Yeah. Like I heard you guys mention you want to like just a pro tournament, and I'm keen to sort of see if we can get something up next year that is along those lines. And so to me, that'd be a really good event to start with. I mean, it's obviously just looking at numbers, making sure it's viable, but that's something I'd be keen to get going as well. I really want to promote the pro, you know, group of this in Australia, and the others will come up into it as they grow and develop. But yeah, I'm keen.
Well, yeah, as you said, we do talk about that a bit on the tee off, and I reckon you'll have definitely a lot of support from the Open players for that.
That's good. That's good. That's what I'm keen to do. So look out for that into next year, and maybe we can chat again then.
Oh, I definitely ongoing. Jeff, sounds good.
Brilliant. Sounds good to me. All right. Look, I'm keen to see you chaps, or at least you, Paddy, here next week.
Yeah.
I'll cook your sausage on the barbecue, mate.
Oh, mate, I'm definitely there then. I'm definitely there.
I'm jealous. That's what I am.
All right, Jeff. Well, look, appreciate you coming on to the tee off, mate, and giving us a little bit of insight. If anyone is on the fence a little bit about coming, there are some good cheap flights going with Jetstar, especially if you're in the Geelong area, flying out of Avalon. Just perfect, mate. So, yeah,
brilliant.
Jump on and come check out and support Sydney Disc Golf.
Good on you guys. I really appreciate the opportunity.
All right.
There you go. The Winter Ambush, Sydney Invitational.
Jeff Wall, he's very motivated.
Isn't he?
Yes.
So I like that talk about doing, I want to do a pro tour. Like,
no
I'm going to retire and do that. Goodness me.
Must be nice.
Jeffrey Wall.
Must be nice. Looking for help with course design and installations, a new disc or other accessories for your game? Well, Aussie Discs has a huge range of all disc golf equipment in stock. 5% of each sale goes back to support your local club through their rewards program. Also, did we mention they have next day shipping? Well, jump online and check out Aussie Discs now at www.ausdiscs.com.au. All right, Fergie, we've got some questions that have been sent in. Now, people have actually, quite a few people have jumped on some questions this time, mate. So I'm going to fire a few at you. So thank you to all those that have sent them in. But first up, Peter Fletcher is asking, should league days start in the afternoon and not all in the morning?
Good question.
Peter doesn't sound like he's a morning person.
Yes, come on, Peter. Look, it's an interesting one. Well, we've actually, down in Geelong, out in Inverleigh at least, we have done the afternoon leagues.
Yes.
And we've dabbled in that for a little bit, and it's actually really good. I like it.
Yeah, I
Sunday
prefer the old afternoon.
I mean, with a young family and things like that, generally in the morning it's a bit more chaotic and you got to do this and we've got to go out and, but by the afternoon there's a bit more free time.
Yep. I know Inverleigh was doing a little Sunday afternoon rounds, and I was like, I am there for that because, I don't know, Sunday afternoons tend to be pretty low-key in the Robinson household. So, yeah, Patrick can usually sneak out and definitely play some disc golf. It's either usually that or the brewery. So, either way, I'm there.
That then the brewery.
But no, Peter, definitely like the morning and afternoon. Some leagues will hold both as well. But if that's something that you're not getting at your local, maybe put up your hand and run it yourself.
I reckon.
Yeah,
and I don't know where
doesn't
Peter
take
is,
much.
sorry, but as well too, I'll just shout out, if you're in Geelong, a morning round is shite. Let's be honest. Over winter, getting up, the grass is still frozen, you can't feel your hands, your feet are wet in 3 seconds, like bullshit.
By the way, I cannot believe that Tim didn't know what hot hands were, being from Geelong. Like,
what's hot hands?
Hot hands, like the little packet that you open and it heats your hands.
Okay, it's like a brand. Okay, yeah, the hand warmers.
Hand warmers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tim, weirdo.
Game changer.
All right. Next up, Pat Ferris. Hot take, Fergie. For tournament play, player's bag limited to 12 discs.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Yep.
I can dig it. It would also mean my bag would be a shitload lighter.
I reckon that most people would probably have or only throw about that many anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, are you allowed to have duplicates, though, of the same mould? You know what I mean? Like,
I reckon he's just meaning just 12. 12 only.
Okay. Yeah, as in, like, if you play golf and you break your, 7-iron, it's done then. You can't use that. You can't pull out another 7-iron.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. I think it'd be, I'd like to try it. I don't know if it needs to be a full, PDJ thing. But, yeah, it's...
It'd be hard with, like, if you're playing a course with water as well. Yeah. Like, what happens if one goes in the drink?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's probably not a bad thing for a lot of people's game. Like, I think a lot of people overcomplicate by having too many discs and too many options and all the rest of it. Like, there was a bloke I played with years ago. He was from... Where was he from? Sweden. He threw a polecat and a wraith. Yeah, and maybe there was a mid, but that was about it. And he used to putt with the polecat upside down.
Right.
So that's just freaky. But
did you hear that, Alan Brunsting?
And he had every game. He had every shot in the game. It was actually pretty good. And that was 2 discs or 3 discs. So I don't know, like simplifying the game could be good for you. So
yeah, I think it'd be interesting if they brought it in. I think people would adapt very quickly to it. But yeah, my only question with that is lost discs. How do you compensate for that? But yeah, cool question, Pat Ferris. Thank you.
Andrew Cos, when putting your bag together, sometimes I putt my bag. When putting your bag together, what are some of the things you MPO players think about? Is it the same for each course, or do you change for different courses?
Excellent question, Andrew. My disc golf bag that I take to tournaments, it is essentially what I call my tournament bag. So I have, it's taken a few years, but I have set that thing up so that I know when I'm traveling, I can rock up at any course and I have every disc that I know. I can play it in wind, I can play it no wind, I can play it whatever the course is. I know I've got that. So it encompasses my whole game. Does everyone need to do that? No, I don't think so. But yeah, that's how I set up my bag.
I think for most people, it's going to be about, okay, is this course going to be windy? Because that's the biggest thing that's going to, change what you choose to throw or how you're going to throw. But yeah, I mean, I guess that if I was going to go and play comp, it's more about, is there elevation? Is there going to be a bit of wind around? Yeah, they're probably the things I'm thinking about.
Yeah. If I was just setting up for, if it was a shorter distance and I knew what the course was, maybe I might take an abridged version of my bag or something like that. But no, if I'm going to play a tournament, usually I take my tournament bag, and it is set up all the way through from ridiculously overstable to understable in my drivers. I have a similar sort of setup in my mid-ranges, so I carry at least 12 to 14 drivers, I'd say. And then I have 6 mids, 2 putters, and maybe a couple of like little extra approach discs on the side there. But I think it's a very it's something that takes a lot of work to find what kind of shot you are missing in your game, and then either beating in a disc or finding a disc to sort of fill that spot, and then deciding whether it's something like a mold that you're used to, or maybe you have to bring something new in, or where is the weaknesses in your game, and what do you need to actually sort out those weaknesses.
There you go, Andrew. You heard it first.
Yeah. Next up, Nathan Thomas. On a scale of 10 to 20.
Yeah. Starting at 10. Great.
Starting at 10. How good were the Bray Park baskets? Now, I'm going to say any Aussie player out there who hasn't played Bray Park, you got to go and play it. I've been in this sport for 10 years and I've not played it. I've heard all about the baskets for years now and didn't realize it's like 6 minutes down the road from Pine Rivers. So Budgie and I, each in the last 2 days, each morning we popped down and we went and played Bray Park. And those baskets are ridiculous. They're the most crazy thing I've ever seen on a disc golf course. And I kind of love it, I'll be honest.
What makes them crazy? What do they look like?
So first off, a normal disc golf basket, they were a rat ace. The top of that basket probably hits me in the chest.
Yep. 145, 150 centimetres.
Yep. And I'm 6'2". So standing next to a Bray Park basket, I can barely touch the top of it, for one. So they are insanely tall. The catcher on it, so the rim of the catcher is at least maybe a fist high. So what are we talking? Like 20 centimetres high. They're a little bit different from the back nine and the front nine. So Budgie and I actually ended up playing the back nine first. But the catcher diameter on the back nine baskets is almost 2 meters wide.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's a dinner table.
Yeah.
Yep.
The radius might be at least 60, 70 centimeters, I reckon. It was huge.
Yep.
And then the ratio of the width of the catcher to the actual width of the chain running down is way out. So
is there any kind of
ring of the
give in the
chain?
chain? Is there any
absolutely barely anything?
Oh, so pretty taut.
Pretty taut,
okay.
Yeah. So if you that runs so high, the bottom of the chain to the top of the chain is 1.5 meters. So Tim actually commented on it. He loved the Bray baskets because he said he doesn't normally miss left or right. He normally misses high or low. So he was just running these things from everywhere and just, it was catching his disc. But,
Probably not PDJ approved, I'd say.
Definitely not.
I do believe actually the council, I think it was Moreton Bay actually years ago who installed them. I think they just did it themselves. There was no...
They just designed them?
They just off a bit of paper. They printed something off an Amiga 64.
Did that paper get wet at some point? Or
scale was out. How big is that? I don't know. It looks about 2 meters. Sweet, no worries.
Yeah, we good.
Yeah, so...
but no, Super fun lines. Some of the lines when we got up to play them, especially on the front nine, crazy scary. Like you're throwing down these tight wooded lines that have a path running essentially the entire way. So a little bit concerning there on some of those holes, but overall super fun. Really, really fun warm-up lines. Just really had a good time. So I'm glad that I ticked that off. If anyone's ever traveling over to Australia, you have to like go and it's sort of like it's an iconic course. You have to go and experience these crazy baskets.
Bray Park. Get there
Bray
now.
Park. Bit of fun.
Jason McCormick watched Blake's three-peat on hole 15. What holes have you made your bitch / destroyed you? Thanks, Jason.
Well, for those that don't know what the Blake's three-peat is, if you jump onto the Parked Media Instagram, they have filmed Blake each time he played over the Queensland Open, hole 15.
Blake Houston, this is.
Yes, Blake Houston. So each time that Blake threw this, essentially they've filmed it in each round. It looks like it's exact replica of each time he's done it. The hole is a tight sort of wooded hole with a little bit of the basket's kind of on like a little bit of a rise. You've got water on the left and some trouble on the right. And yeah, he basically parks it each time, takes his birdie, and yeah.
Owned it.
So, Jace, to answer your question, I will just refer to the Queensland Open. The hole that I made my bitch was hole 13, which was a very tightly wooded, straight off the tee, bit of a tight line that you've got to throw your backhand hyzer through. Once you circumnavigate all the wood, it sort of goes down to just a slightly drop in elevation to the pin there, a little bit of OB long if you do get there. But yeah, par 3, about 100 metres. Most people were, if they were stuffing it up, they were hitting early and taking, some bigger numbers there. But I birdied that every round of the Queensland Open, so pretty happy about that.
Bitch.
Yes. What hole destroyed me was a hole you probably wouldn't think of the Queensland Open, was hole 6. It was about 160 metre par 4, not complex at all, and I stuffed it every time.
Couldn't get it.
Yeah, I was like 1 over for the thing. I did actually, it's on footage too, Fergie, that I got a less than desirable spit out.
Oh, was it the new baskets?
It was a new basket, actually,
okay,
yeah. By the way, the thickness of the gauge on the new catches, I dig it.
Yeah, it's very thick.
Yeah. But yes, that hole absolutely destroyed me on the Queensland Open. What about you?
Oh, look, mate, I didn't play Queensland, so I'll just keep it closer to home. Inverleigh, I'm very reluctant to say that any hole is my bitch at Inverleigh because it might come back to bite
Inverleigh
me.
Gold, yeah. Inverleigh Gold.
But look, I just not that it's my bitch, and I won't say bitch again. But like hole 17, I don't seem to have too much trouble on it. It's a very difficult hole. But I mean,
Gandalf hole for anyone who's seen it before.
There's some pretty highish numbers on that hole, can be, but I seem to kind of get away with it okay. It always seem to be having a bit of a putt. But yeah, anyway, so I'll mention that one. And destroyed me Inverleigh hole 9. I can't get it.
Hole 9. The par 4.
Yeah, yes, I just can't. Yeah. Can't manage it.
Right.
I designed the fucking thing, but I just can't do it. So that's my ones.
All right. Good question, Jace. Thank you. Aldo Tam has come in with a trash or cash for us. U-Disc course records.
Yeah, trash.
Trash?
Yep.
You reckon?
Yep.
The only thing I'll say about it is it's hard to police.
Oh, well, exactly right. That's why it's trash. I've seen some numbers on some courses, and I'm just like, really? 2 aces? Oh, okay. That was lucky.
Yeah.
Good on you, mate.
Yeah, right.
So, I don't know. It's good. It's nice to have it. It's nice to look at it.
Yeah.
It's all these stats and data and stuff. But, jeez, it's a bit trashy when you just can't really rely on people doing the right thing.
Yeah, I think you can weed out some of the bullshit, to be honest. Because, let's be honest, some of them are not consistent at all. But I do like jumping on the old course stats and seeing who is up there. And the legit ones. Like, you'll see some some Dan Frosts, there was some Austin D'Alessandros and Jade and Luke Baines. And also I'm digging, like, I really like seeing the U-Disc nicknames and the profile.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, if you're looking and you see Probinson on, yeah, you're welcome.
What are you using your world champ? Sorry, not world champ. World Pro Tour.
No, I'm using what's his name? Ezra.
Okay, right.
I'm using Ezra's Huck face as mine. Yeah,
That's a good face.
it's
Kerouac, who's Mr. Ash Widener. He's written in, what's the best T-shirt Timmy has ever seen? Now, Timmy's not here, but Timmy did say that apparently the Wiggles T-shirt. No, it's not true. What is the
I
best?
thought it was the new Aces, player shirt design. I'm pretty sure Tim said that.
Second choice, yeah. Definitely.
That was the second. No, we did message Tim, said, what the hell is Ash on about here? And at the Queensland Open, I've got a photo here of Ash Widener wearing a black T-shirt with Tim Bowen, his face all over it. Tim Bowen, number 1. So, yeah, you guys are fanboying way too hard. And, yeah, I doubt they're getting laid in that shirt.
Just look at that again. Yeah, that's tasty. It's actually.
Can we trash or cash that one? We'll put that one on the socials, I think.
The Bowen. It's the Bowen. Oh, it's so good. I love the font too. They've done a good job there, actually. So,
yeah.
Where can we order those?
Yeah.
I think Jace is wearing one as well.
Points for effort. Points for effort.
Beautiful.
Yes. There you go, Ash. That's what his favourite T-shirt is, apparently. I don't know how his wife would feel about that. Timon Sanna. Simon Tanner has sent in favourite hole at Queensland Open. Excellent question, Simon. I would have to say hole 11. 220 metre par 4. Off the tee, you had an option to go either left right-hand forehand or right-hand backhand sort of line, but there was a Mando there. Essentially, it sort of both went out wide and came back into a landing zone. In the middle, all trees, just this huge clump of trees that you've got. If you go in there, you've got nothing. It then goes out, so 2 fairways. And then essentially, if you're looking at it from above, it's like an 8, numeral 8. Mm-hmm. So out, landing zone in the middle, and then you've got another option to go left or right, and then basket's way down. If you somehow get to the right landing zone off that first drive, you then have, which I think it was only about 90 metres, super tough. You've then got to have like 120 through tight woods to then get to the pin. I don't think there were any birdies.
I'm just trying to look up now. I can't see anything. Yeah. It sounds good, though.
Epic hole. Epic
Is it
hole.
one of the permanent holes? Can't remember.
I asked about this because I caught up with Chris Barringer after the tournament, and I wanted to ask him, how the hell are we supposed to play that hole? Because it's super tough. And I ended up going off the tee. I went forehand line. I was curious as to whether the right hand backhand off the tee was actually the play, but it is a safari hole. It is not actually part of the permanent blue course. Yep. So anyone there, like if anyone ever birdies it, I'm curious to know what the play actually was on it. But yes, that was my favourite hole of the tournament. Cool. Actually, I will tell a quick story about that hole, and you guys will see this on the Gatekeeper footage when it comes out. All right, so I need to shout out Ben Kennedy here. All right. So second round, lead cut, he's following.
He's not on it.
He's not on it. He's following us around, right? I'm playing this hole that I've just described. I had a little bit of shitty luck, and I end up being about 17, 18 metres from the pin to save my par. So I'm there lining up this putt. I've got a bit of an open gap too. I've sort of done, typically I do about 3 or 4 sort of, pumps
Pumps.
as I'm, getting in the zone. as I'm sort of going down, I'm sort of about to sort of release, on that last sort of one, dead, obviously dead silent, I hear this.
Oh, jeez.
Someone lets loose this whopping fart, and I sort of stopped, and I had a chuckle because it was hilarious. I turn around, the old Ben Kennedy's bending over, patting this dog that's come by.
Oh,
and
I'm thinking, did he blame it on the dog?
I'm like, Ben, was that the dog or was that you? Anyway, I was sort of had a bit of a smile. And I thought, you fucker. Anyway, so get down, get back in the zone. All right. Just got to stop thinking about the sound on the pitch of that fart that's escaped his, loose butthole. And then just released and cashed the putt.
Oh, beautiful.
Save par.
Hey?
And I tell you what, Ben, I would have been coming after you after that round if I had missed that putt, but I didn't. And love you, mate.
So that was hilarious. That was on film.
That's on film.
Okay,
yeah.
I wonder if we can actually hear this part. Sounds like the catch cam probably picked it up.
You will definitely see me stop, reset, look over to him and smile. You will see that. But we'll see if it picks up on the fart. He did come after the round. He's like, Paddy, I'm sorry about that. I was like, doesn't matter, man. Just stop eating beans and
goodness me.
No.
Brenton, should it be compulsory for Australian universities to have a disc golf course or /team? And can a 30-year-old who just started playing go pro? So a couple of different questions there.
To answer both, yes.
The first one, 100%. I think it'd be really good.
Yes. Well, we know there's a few courses that are on universities, and usually they have good money. Sort of sitting there, and they're really fun courses.
Yep, they are fun courses. I don't know how much it's part of their. Well, they don't really have a curriculum for those sports kind of thing necessarily, but I know there's the locals use the courses a lot.
Yeah,
that are in unis, but I guess I guess like ultimate in universities. I mean, it's huge, especially in the States and things like that. It was college teams and what have you. I mean, it's massive.
Yeah.
So and disc golf as well. I mean, they've got the college.
The collegiate champ,
as well.
Huge.
So, I mean, I think it would be, it'd be nice to see that in Australia. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I'll put my hand up to go and design a few of those courses, mate.
Yeah, and not a bad cohort of people who have some time on their hands and limited cash. So there you go, disc golf.
Tick tick.
And can you go pro as a 30-year-old? Yes.
Yeah, well, you can just go pro, even if you're 750 rated, mate.
Exactly, mate. You can jump in.
Technically jump up to MPO and have a crack. But no, absolutely. Disc golf, it's a hugely accessible sport. A bit of, hard practice, good practice.
Yeah.
What do they say? Like you got to do 20 minutes a day.
Yeah.
20 minutes a day?
Oh, I'd love to do 20 minutes.
20 minutes of putting a day, and you'll be a different player after a couple of years. So.
Yeah. I mean, Bainey's got a huge ultimate history, but he's, only been playing disc golf, 3 years? 3 years? Not that long. Max. And, he's in his 30s. So there you go, Brenton. Get on it, mate. Get practicing. Now, Amy has sent in a question as well, or more of a suggestion for us. She's saying she would love an episode on starting as a beginner. So some tips, some advice on techniques, there's a bit about the rules and disc selection and all that sort of stuff. So, Amy, thank you for sending that in for one. Two, we would love to do something like this. We have thrown out a little bit of this stuff just sporadically over episodes in the past, but Fergie and I were chatting before. We'd love to go through and do like a little bit of a special thing for beginners. So, yes, we will work on that for you. We'll probably run out of time now to do that, but definitely on the cards, I think, Fergs.
No, I think it definitely does need a bit of time to kind of put something together properly. Even if it's just a half or a mini episode or something like that that's a bit separate. And I think, because there's definitely demand for it. There's questions being asked all the time about advice and techniques and all these things. So it'd be nice to kind of put it together in a package and let people kind of access it and refer to it. So, that's a great idea, Amy.
Yes. Thank you for sending that in. Now, I did have one question as well asked of me the other day, and I thought I'd put that out there as well. Someone was quite curious, didn't realize that a lot of people actually in their bags have multiple molds, multiple versions of the one mold, essentially. So I myself have 4 Ballista Pros in my bag, but they all have different levels of, beatness and stability to them. Latitude have some different plastics as well in your Opto X and your Gold line and all that sort of thing. So I've actually found over the years that they do all fly a little bit different, but the width of the rim is the same and it feels, similar in my hand. So that's why I've gone different versions of that one mold. And that this is a very common thing amongst, a lot of people who've been playing a long time. But yes, unbeknownst to, I'm trying to think who it was who asked me that. But yeah, they didn't realize that. So do you carry multiple?
So they didn't realize that you could, or that was a thing that you did?
It was a thing that you did. Chris Scott asked me this. He thought, well, there's so many versions of discs that have, the range of speed and range of stability. And he thought that, like, if you needed to fit, a disc to fit that shot, that you would just go out and buy that disc.
I think this kind of goes back to Amy's question about, advice for techniques and things like that. Absolutely. I think as you kind of get on in your disc golf life, you do refine and have some favourite discs. And for me, it was for a long time. My main driver was a Wraith, only 11 speed, but great glide. Could puck that thing a fair way. That's now kind of morphed a bit more to the Grace. Really enjoying that at the moment. But yeah, I've got multiples of that in my bag. And the same going with the Mako 3 at one point. Probably the Compass now I'm throwing a little bit more of these days, whether it's Opto, Gold line. So there's 100%. For me, it's about having consistency in the grip, and what feels good in my hand, and kind of choosing the disc that's going to be suitable for those conditions, be it more stable or whatever, but the same mold.
Yeah.
So no, I think it's overcomplicated. It's, owning a shop, and I know what it's like when customers come to you and they got questions or they're just buying stuff. You can see, like, they're just getting randoms. Like, I want to try this, and that one's colourful. It's great, and it's all part of the sport to kind of get into it.
It's one of the most fun things looking back on, at starting. And you look back to all the weird shit that you bought at the start too. Yeah,
100%, and it's all part of that development. But I think the more you kind of get on in your disc golf career, you will refine those things a bit more, and probably stick to the molds that you do like, and just get variants of them.
Yes. No. Good questions. Good questions.
Yeah, very good.
All right, and that brings us to the end of another episode of the Tee Off. Episode 41, by the way, Fergie.
Oh.
Yes, nearly at half a century, mate.
Might be my age.
Ooh. Look out. Please make sure you follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Send in any questions or topics you'd like us to discuss, and big thanks to all those that did that for this episode. Please jump on as well on our link tree and have a look at that Patreon. There's some pins and merch stuff there as well. We really appreciate all the support coming in. Until next time, we hope you get out and play some disc golf with your mates. Thank you, Fergie.
Thank you.
Yeah, glad Tim's not here.
Love you.
So that's the end of the episode. Thanks for listening. I don't know why you're still here. We have to go see our families. Seriously, just go play disc golf.